Like these borders. You know, this is a room full of immigrants.
Yes,
you know
it is.
It's a room full of immigrants. We done good for some immigrants.
That's right.
Yeah. These borders are set up by colonists. These borders are set up by warring European factions that are interested in enabling white supremacy and keeping it going. You know what I'm saying? Like
keeping the borders that they created.
People was murdered or raped and tortured for them to create these lines and these divisions between people. You know what I'm saying? No human being is illegal. You know what I'm saying? If you get drunk and you drive and you kill a motherfucker, are you an illegal driver? No, you're not. So no human being is illegal. That's a misnomer. No human being is an alien. No human being is illegal. And
let's make some noise for the people trying to cross the borders.
No doubt.
Coffee time. Peace and blessings, y'all. This is DVJ&MICHELLE, and this is the Cold World Podcast. We just want to say, enjoy the music, the clips, and the content, and we hope you're enjoying this long, extended weekend, holiday weekend. This is my birthday weekend here coming up. Well, I should say my birthday's on the 25th, so looking forward to that. We just want to say, we appreciate everyone that's taken out time to download and or listen to our podcast. We would just ask that you listen with an open mind, and that's about it. And spread the word. You know what I mean? All right, y'all, let's get to this episode. Enjoy the music, the clips, and the content. And I'm going to enjoy my first cup of coffee here. Shout out Collectivo Coffee. All right, y'all, let's get to this episode. Making tuna patties, y'all. So it's just breadcrumbs, 2 packs of tuna. One of them was a lemon pepper, and then one was just regular. We used the ones out the packet. 1 egg, seasoning salt or salt and pepper, you know what I mean, to your liking. Mayonnaise. Let me see. Yeah, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. No, 1/2 cup of the breadcrumbs, 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, lemon juice, just a tablespoon of lemon juice, the 2 packs of tuna, 1 egg, and then you just, you know, whatever seasoning you want. You can put onions in there. I put red onions in there. Chopped them up real good. Well, we had some frozen. And then you just mix all that together. I used a little whisk. And then you just form the patties. I used a ice cream scooper. Use that. Boom. Put them in a little frying pan. You can hear them in there. At about a medium temperature. You don't have to burn them. Just slow roll them until they get, you know, a little golden brown, and then flip them. Boom. Each side's going to take maybe about 5 minutes if you're being patient. And then flip them over. Yep, tuna patties are the shit. Oh, that's perfect. Alright, y'all. So go make some of those. They're good.
I want to have to say, how were you laughing your ass off when you killed your mother?
No, I actually don't know why I was laughing.
Emergency services were called to a house fire in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Firefighters discovered the body of Melanie Davis. Police spotted 15-year-old Zachary Davis as he walked alone down a road.
Is that blood on your pants right there? Did you change clothes?
Blood fell.
How do you feel when you killed your mom? Do you always look at people through your eyebrows? I'm not picking on you. I'm just, it looks kind of evil when you did that. I'm going to have to say.
They know. Smile business, nigga. Look, we was hard-headed, underrated. started, cold-hearted. Now they hate us for the fact we made it to fathers. Ninth grader, when the feds made him a target, he don't want to do no wrong, just imitating his father. Cop foreign, straight 8 in Dodge Charger. Brand new blocks and Drakes, they can't harm us. True mobsters, smoke up like we rosters. No imposters, look out, the streets watching. Seen prophets, it's beef, we bring chopsticks. Mini Glock spit, the switch is spitting hot shit. No, we locked in, from Harlem way to Bompton. And we top 10, on blogs we be the topic. Tell them stop it, we got it, them niggas dropped it. Did against the grill with drama soon as I hopped in. Steak and lobster, spill blood over this popster. Used to play the rock with my niggas, I feel like nigga, this my business. And don't trust no niggas if it ain't my niggas. You gon' die in the middle, so pick a side, nigga. Niggas screaming it's love, but he ain't ride with us. He ain't ride, it's do or die, nigga. Just give me Teflon love until we die, nigga. Whether right or you wrong, I'm gon' slide with you. Me and you against the world, I'm picking sides with you. You know I'm riding with you, they know. We could ride on these niggas, or we could walk and get in the fish scale of the snorkel when I had portion visions. Took a block, then another block. Now it's another drop, in another spot. Then you fucking with niggas that get your brother pop. Cartel shit, keep the L lit. I get it sold, but never sell shit. I've been told niggas I never tell shit. Never mind, mine can't see what it never finds. 10 plugs to the room, mix it 11 lines. Probably outside in a Porsche that is lemon lime. No, ain't a blood or a crip, but I can send a sign. They think I'm saying bye. I'm really saying bye. That's the Buffalo to Yonkers Express full by.
To introduce the king of comedy, please give it up for the one and only Mr. Paul Mooney. Give it up, Paul Mooney.
Some random Paul Mooney clips. I don't know what he's talking about. We'll play about 2 minutes, y'all. If you're not interested, fast forward 2 minutes.
I'm glad to be here, and I came to Harlem because this is where the niggas are, and this is where I feel the most safe. And I give it up for the other niggas. I give it up for the Puerto Ricans, too. I give it up for them, too, because they niggas, too. They are. But they got the same problems that we have, because they got light-skinned Puerto Ricans who think they're white. Whiter Ricans.
Dude's kicking some real shit on here.
I knew Freddie. He was a white Rican. That's why Hollywood loved him. He was more white than he was Rican, so they liked him. They got the same problems we got, them goddamn nigger-ass Cubans. You seen him on the boat. I look like my cousin Harry. Cousin Harry was on a boat? That Lucille Ball, that Ricky, that was a nigger, too. They don't fool me. That Babalu shit. Babalu is an African god. All that shit is African. They don't fool me. I know my fucking past. The white man goes, really? Yes. It's an African god, goddammit. I was freaking out in the hotel because a friend of mine, Tasha, gave me these big, she just travels, she's the assistant to the prince over in Africa. She gave me these big wooden-ass original with the big Macumba Love lips and wide-ass old Michael Jackson nose and wood carved and shit. And I had them hanging up in my hotel room and I fell on my knees. I said, help me remember the old ways so I can cast a spell on these motherfuckers. And they took the drums from us because that's how we sent our messages. That's why it was a law, death penalty. Catch a nigga on a drum, it's a death penalty. That's why we don't keep drums in the house now. Ain't that a bitch? I got a drum in every motherfucking room. Never know when that phone will go out. That's who you gotta watch, the quiet ones. And the ones that keep bodies in the back of their truck. You know that motherfucker y'all had out here, pulled him over for a ticket, found that body in the back. It's a body of crazy serial killer, white, stupid, crazy motherfucker. I'll show you where some more bodies is. Taking them all over New York, Jersey, man. Here's some more. All up in the airport. He got another one up here in the airport. He killed a bunch of people. Why you kill him, crazy-ass white man? I just want to see him dead.
So I got a crazy story right here. This is from the Griot. So 2 Navy SEALs based in Virginia are facing disciplinary action for racist conduct. Once again, 2 Navy SEALs based in Virginia are facing disciplinary action for racist conduct, and several of their platoon and team leaders are being disciplined for leadership failures, according to a defense official. The 2 enlisted Team 4 members are being punished for developing racist memes targeted a black sailor in their platoon and circulating them in a group chat with other team members, according to the official, who spoke on condition of anonymity to provide details of an ongoing investigation. The memes depicted the sailor as a slave, according to visuals viewed by the Associated Press. That's fucked up. According to the official, the sailor who was targeted reported the incidents this year, but they took place beginning in 2022, and the memes circulated for years. The sailor had been in one of the SEAL Team 4 platoons, but had his qualifications and SEAL Trident revoked last year. He alleged that his failure to remain a SEAL was due to the racist treatment. 2 officials said that as a result of the investigation, which was conducted by Navy SEAL Special Warfare Group 2, the sailor's SEAL qualifications are being reinstated and he will get payback and will get back pay. The group oversees SEAL Team 4 and the platoons that make up the team located at Joint Base Little Creek Fort Story in Hampton Roads, Virginia. The probe found that the platoon SEAL Team 4 leaders did not adequately address the sailor's concerns about racist behavior, and that the decision to revoke his qualifications was flawed. Quote, "This was a very shocking case of explicit and repeated racist memes directed at our client in a platoon-wide text thread," said Timothy Parlatore, the sailor's lawyer, referring to the memes shared over a signal chat. Quote, "They modified his face and photos to look like a monkey and portrayed him as a chained slave on a slave ship, among others." That's some bullshit, man. The energy and effort people go through to be racist towards other people. That's what I'm saying, man. That shit. The 2 enlisted sailors responsible for the memes face non-judicial punishment and punitive letters in their files. Both actions can be career-ending or can result in demotions or loss of pay. Other actions are still pending. The platoon and team leaders are also facing administrative actions, including disciplinary letters in their files that could determine if they continue as SEALs. In a statement, Navy Special Warfare Command acknowledged the investigation into, quote, "serious allegations of unprofessional conduct within one of our commands," and said accountability actions are ongoing. It added that we are dedicated, quote, "we are dedicated to fostering a climate of dignity and respect, and after conducting a thorough and fair investigation, we will hold anyone found responsible of misconduct accountable." So we'll see what happens with that, y'all. If y'all want to go do some more digging on that. It says, one more interesting fact is, it says as of March 2021, a full 95% of all SEAL and combatant craft crew officers were white, and just 2% were black, according to Naval Special Warfare statistics provided to the AP. The enlisted ranks were only slightly more diverse. That's crazy, y'all. Wow. All right, y'all.
Family says the emotional wounds he developed in the military never healed. Last month, they dialed 911, a move his widow, Esther, says she regrets.
We needed help. We never thought that this could happen to him. We have no idea that this could happen to him. If we knew, we would never call 911.
Investigators say what ultimately happened is Enriquez had a gun in his waistband and one on his lap, failed to comply with Chula Vista police, and eventually pointed a gun in their direction. 3 officers fired, hitting the 56-year-old and killing him. And it was all recorded by police.
We want all the audio and visual recordings that are out there. The family deserves them. Future veterans that may need help deserve to know.
Olivier Lazaro was a retired Army combat medic and knew Enriquez well.
He is all of us. He is all of us, and we cannot be scared to call 911 in Christ.
I'm going to play some background music here, and I'm going to read this article to y'all. So this is some Eric Benet. This is probably my favorite R&B album ever, or I'll say top 3 at least for sure. A Day in the Life. So the rave / Eagles Club, you know, people from Milwaukee or Wisconsin, you know what I mean? Y'all know about the rave. You know what I'm saying? 24th in Wisconsin. So, you know, they have a lot of concerts there and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? It's kind of what it's known for and stuff like that. People like to go there and stuff, and it's known as a, you know, solid place to go see a concert at, you know, smaller venue or whatever, right? Pretty chill, though, right, for the most part, right? But did y'all know? I'm sure some of y'all do, but most probably don't. So they got some racist, they got a racist past. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to talk about that so people can be aware that are unaware right now. So I'll just read this. It'll just take a couple minutes, y'all. So the Rave / Eagles Club in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is a venue now known for hosting concerts, has a complex and troubling history tied to racial segregation and civil rights protests. The Eagles Club and racial segregation. So originally established in 1927 as the Eagles Club, the building served as a social and athletic facility for the Fraternal Order of Eagles. During the 1960s, the club maintained a, quote, whites-only membership policy, explicitly barring black individuals from joining. Y'all hear me? This exclusion was particularly contentious between many prominent city officials, including judges and politicians, were members. Wow. Let me read that again. This exclusion was particularly contentious because many prominent city officials, including judges and politicians, were members. So you literally had racist judges too. So not only were they doing that, you know, they were sending black people to prison and shit. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, you can, because there's a lot of them. There's got to be, just because that there's nothing worse than a racist judge, right? Oh my goodness. This exclusion was particularly contentious, I'm just going to read this last time, because many prominent city officials, including judges and politicians, were members. The presence of these officials in a segregated organization raised concerns about their ability to administer justice impartially, especially in cases involving African Americans. Like I just said, yep, I hadn't even read that part yet. So obviously there were civil rights protests, you know what I mean? You got to get up and stand up for yourself. In response to the club's discriminatory policies, the Milwaukee NAACP Youth Council, led by Father James Groppe, shout out Father James Groppe, organized protests in 1966. Demonstrations took place outside the Eagles Club and at the homes of its prominent members, such as Circuit Court Judge Robert Cannon, These protests were met with hostility from some white residents, leading to tense confrontations that necessitated intervention by the National Guard. Wow. The KKK, their presence was felt. During this period, the Ku Klux Klan had a presence in Milwaukee. Photographs from 1966 depict KKK members standing across the street from the Eagles Club while NAACP youth protested on the opposite side. These images highlighted the KKK's opposition to the civil rights movement and their support for segregational institutions. Man, it just like pisses you off just reading this stuff. Transformation into the rave. So let's fast forward to today. But if y'all want to go, like I said, I'm not going to go off super deep dive into this because it's going to be kind of a shorter episode. We know, Memorial Day weekend's coming up. So we're going to assume, like, people aren't going to really be listening to a ton of podcasts this weekend. You know what I'm saying? So, but we just wanted to get some of this information out to y'all. You know what I mean? So the Eagles Club discriminatory membership policy persisted until the late 1970s. In 1988, Thomas Davis became the club's first black president. However, financial difficulties led to the club's closure in 1989. The building was later repurposed and reopened as The Rave, a concert venue that continues to operate today. So, if y'all want to go do some research on that, you know what I mean? Maybe on the next episode we'll do a little deeper dive. Like, I want to look more into this Judge Robert Cannon, because I'm sure there was other bullshit he was involved with. Probably like sentencing people and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm going to assume he was. Yep, the circuit court judge, yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to play this Eric Benet for a second, though, and we'll get back to this episode.
I ate some of my chocolate bunny from Easter.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
hollow inside.
So it's just all chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
You like
Very
it?
good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning again, y'all. Michelle just got up. It's Friday, y'all, though. How was your first sip, babe?
Delicious.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made it a little stronger this morning. Bronzeville was once the cultural and economic heart of Milwaukee's black community, stretching roughly from North Avenue to State Street and from 3rd Street to 12th Street. It thrived during the early and mid-20th century, despite redlining and segregation. In the 1960s and 70s, as part of federal urban renewal and interstate highway programs, Milwaukee officials chose to route Interstate 43, originally planned as I-94 north-south, directly through the heart of Bronzeville, which was a black neighborhood, y'all. Entire blocks of homes and businesses were razed. Thousands of residents, primarily black families, were displaced. Community institutions, churches, and businesses were destroyed. This was justified under urban renewal policies, but in reality, it mirrored similar patterns across the United States, where highways were deliberately placed in or near black neighborhoods rather than wealthier white areas. The forced displacement hollowed out the black community's central hub. Businesses that depended on neighborhood foot traffic lost customers and folded. Bronzeville jazz clubs, theaters, and black-owned establishments were erased. In recent years, there has been grassroots efforts to revitalize Bronzeville, including art projects, historic markers, and redevelopment plans. Milwaukee's example is often cited in national discussions about infrastructure racism and how the federal projects have devastated communities of color. Hey, baby, why when we tell people, or just people in general, when you tell people that, like, white people used to build highways literally through black communities and destroy our neighborhoods, why don't they believe us? What do they think? Like, we just make stuff up? Like, wake up like, I'm going to make this story up and say that white people built highways and destroyed black neighborhoods, and then just to say, like, why don't they believe it?
They're just, I guess that would be called denial, right?
Yep. So this one was out of Syracuse, New York, the I-81 and the 15th Ward. So the 15th Ward was a vibrant, predominantly African-American neighborhood in Syracuse during the early 20th century. It was home to families, black-owned businesses, churches, schools, and a strong community network. So in the 1950s and 60s, as part of the national push for interstate highway system, planners routed I-81 directly through the 15th Ward. Hundreds of homes and businesses were demolished. Residents were displaced with little to no support. The new elevated highway physically split the neighborhood from downtown and other parts of the city. The placement was intentional. Planners and city leaders often targeted black neighborhoods for demolition under the guise of slum clearance. That's a quote, knowing they faced the least political resistance. The 15th Ward community was dispersed, and many residents never found stable housing again. General wealth through property ownership was destroyed. The elevated highway left a literal scar in the city, dividing communities and contributing to long-term poverty and segregation. So let's fast forward to today and see what's going on with that. So there's now a major movement to tear down the I-81 viaduct and replace it with a community grid. This project, backed by the residents, activists, and planners, seeks to restore connectivity and begin repairing the damage done by the highway's construction. This example is often cited along places like Miami's Overtown, New Orleans' Treme, and Detroit's Black Bottom as emblematic of the systemic displacement through infrastructure. So if y'all want to go check those out too, those other situations, the Miami's Overtown, New Orleans' Treme, and Detroit's Black Bottom. If y'all want to go check those out. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening to this episode. We're going to get out of here. We're going to take on this last day of work before the weekend begins. I'm going to enjoy my birthday. So this will be our last podcast, probably till like Tuesday or something. So go on down a little deep ocean dive and listen to some more of our podcasts and spread the word. Enjoy yourself, keep yourself safe, and we'll holler at everyone soon. All right, y'all. Peace. So don't mind the dishwasher in the background. If y'all hear that, my apologies. I just wanted to re-quote this quote by this person. It's on Twitter and stuff. I'm not going to, like, put their name out there and stuff like that because, you know what I mean? I don't want them to, like, because there'll be people that agree and disagree with stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then, so I don't want to, like, send them any kind of people that, you know, start attacking them or whatever online and being shitty and stuff like that. So I'm just going to read the quote, but I'm just saying I agree with the quote. So the quote, it says, "Supporting Trump is no longer a political choice. It is a statement that you don't care about morality, legality, or the truth." I agree with that quote. If you supported Trump, you know what I mean? You can't say it was political. You can't. All the bullshit he's doing and all the things they're taking away and all this stuff and just, we can all see it, man. You literally only have, you don't even have to be involved in politics or political or none of that stuff to see the bullshit that he's doing. It's just pure, just blatant racism, sexism, all that stuff. He don't like anything black or brown. He don't respect women. And he don't like white people that support black people and shit. That's why he's punishing all these colleges, Harvard and all that. That's why they're punishing them and stuff. And they're punishing the white people that support black and brown students and freedom of speech and protest and all. They're punishing them. But I agree with this quote. You know what I mean? Because all you black and brown Trumpers and you white ones too. Because you white Trumpers, the ones that said oh, well, I'm just, I don't like the racist stuff he says. I don't like some of the things he says, but I'm going to hold my nose and then they try to say they voted for him because it's the economy. That's some bullshit. You guys could have voted for Kamala Harris or kept your ass at home. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been quite as mad. Like, if you were to ask somebody, like, who'd you vote for? And they would have been like, oh, I just didn't even vote. Like, I would have still felt some kind of way about that, but I wouldn't have been quite as mad. I would have been like, well, at least they didn't go literally vote for that bitch, Trump. You know what I mean? So why? It was like, people could have voted for Kamala. You guys weren't going to lose all your shit. You weren't going to lose your home, your car, your job. You weren't about to get mass deported and shit and all that. Y'all know that. She wasn't about to do none of that kind of stuff. None of it. None of it. You know what I mean? Y'all could have figured the rest of that shit out. That's what I was saying. A lot of white people, because it was a majority of white people that voted for that punk. So y'all supported that racism. You know what I mean? And the thing is, y'all can't come back from that. Black and brown Trump supporters and white Trump supporters, y'all can't come back from that. Because, see, here's the thing. He's temporary. He's not going to be president in 3 years, 3.5 years or whatever. He can't run again. You know what I mean? So what are y'all going to do? Because you got to wear all of that. That's long lasting. He's done so much damage. It ain't like y'all can just be like, oh, he's not president, so forgive us for... No, there is none of that. It's memory like an elephant time. I ain't forgiving nobody that supported dude. But yeah, I agree with that quote. I agree with that quote. Because when you support him, especially if you're black and brown, you know all of the stuff. So when you support him, you got to be ready to wear all of that bullshit and field all the questions that you're going to get from people, from other black people. You got to know you're going to get people saying, why the fuck did you vote for dude? What the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. That comes with the territory when you jump out there and do that dumb stuff. And then to be mad when people are asking you, come on, y'all are doing some unnormal bullshit. And then get mad when people ask, fear mongering. What the hell, man? Nobody fear mongering, y'all. Didn't nobody make you guys do anything? All right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here, though. But this will be our last episode, probably for the next 3 or 4 days, you know what I mean? Because we're going to celebrate my birthday and the Memorial Day holiday and stuff like that, and just enjoy some rest and relaxation and some nice weather, hopefully. All right, y'all, so we'll holler at everyone soon in a few days. Enjoy your weekend. Have some fun. Get some rest. You know what I'm saying? And do something to boost your immune system and keep yourself safe out here. All right, y'all. And spread the word. Shout us out and give us a review or something. All right, y'all. Peace.
And the 70s return to northwestern Wisconsin this Sunday. We get plenty of sunshine, especially on Sunday, and high pressure is going to keep those weather systems out of here. And that's certainly good news if you're traveling again across the region. Looks really good. East Coast, they have their nor'easter going on, which is weird for this time of the year, but it is happening, and will eventually start